Hey friends, welcome back to Storytime with Mr. L, and it is an exciting week for reading and for the library. We've got book bingo coming up on Thursday where there's going to be a ton of free books given out to kids, a lot going home, and Friday we're getting set up for the book fair because next week, the week after, book fair all week, but Monday we're going to release a bunch of brand new books into the library, middle grade fiction, graphic novels. So here we go, let's see what's coming out. We're going to start with The Warriors. All right, I've got so many kids who are just in love with The Warriors. These are graphic novels. There are 9 of them. All right, they are numbered and labeled by series, by number. So there's a lot of these great warrior books. We have the brand new paperback warrior graphic novels, the 3 that they've made. But these are the older ones and kind of the original Warriors graphic novels. So there are 9 of these coming out Monday. A lot of super excited people. I've had a lot of friends getting after me. When are they going to be out? When are they ready? Monday. Here they come. Okay. Let's keep on that graphic novel kick with Dan Santat's Thick as Thieves. All right. This is Sidekicks book 2, brand new. Okay. If we love Dan Santat. Here we go. Sidekicks. We also have The Dragon Path, a beautiful graphic novel, maybe for some of our older readers. Back to Dan Santat, The Aquanaut. Such a cool story about our friends from the sea climbing into this suit and coming out onto land and trying to solve some mysteries as like a human, but they're just sea creatures living in this human suit. It's all very cool. If you love Dan Santat, which I always do, The Aquanaut. This is cool. Raina Telgemeier's Facing Feelings Inside the World of Raina Telgemeier. Look at this thing. It's huge. It's beautiful. There's so much cool stuff in this book, and my kids are going to be so excited, and I only have one. Mostly with Raina's books, I have 3 copies of all of them, or 4 until they fall apart, and then I have to get new ones. But this one, I only got one. So there's going to be people fighting for this inside the world of Raina Telgemeier. Ribbon Skirt, which I just read. It's an Ojibwa story about a young person who is trying to find their place in the world and where they belong and wanting to create a ribbon skirt. Kind of a cool book, especially if you don't know much about Native Americans and some of their culture and some of their traditions. This is a great way to get into that. Miss Camper by Kat Fajardo. So we are going back into, this is the sequel, and if you read Miss Quince's, right, this is following up on that. This book's so cute, so fun. Max, a little axolotl, and Max gets lost. He gets taken out of the canals in Xochimilco in Mexico City and put in this, basically what is more or less like an aquatic zoo, but doesn't know anything about being an axolotl and doesn't know what that means and what he should be doing. And such a cute story and such a great way to learn about axolotls in Mexico. And the sequel is coming out soon, or it's out already, I'm not sure, but right around the corner. Max, a little axolotl. Wish I Was a Baller. I'm gonna date myself here, but I was in high school when Amar Shah, the author of this, was in high school, when he was interviewing the Chicago Bulls, when he was interviewing Shaq, when he was doing all these things that you think no high school kid should ever get to do, true story. And he talks about, you know, being with Shaq and following the magic, and this picture of him with Shaq, which made it onto the cover of Sports Illustrated for kids. But what a neat story about a high school kid wanting to get into the school newspaper sports page, and what better way than actually befriending Shaq, who was playing for the Orlando Magic at the time. Chickenpox, Remy Lai, about a family who all come down with chickenpox. They are living in Indonesia at the time. No, Singapore maybe. They're Indonesian by descent. But what a cool story. And what's interesting is Remy is not the main character in the book. She is the kind of the younger sister, and the story is told through the eyes of the older sister, but Remy is definitely in the story. Chickenpox, great story. Graphic novel as well. Bad Guys, which I love, but this is book 2. But what's super cool about this is, as you know, they are starting to do the series in color. So this is Bad Guys book 2 in color. Speaking of Aaron Blabey, Cat on the Run, book 2. Book 3 is out already, so we had to get book 2 on our shelf before we can get to book 3. If you're enjoying this Cat on the Run series, since Bad Guys wrapped up with book 20. And our last graphic novel is Megan Wagner-Lloyd and Michelle Me Nutter's Winging It. If you loved Allergic, if you loved Squished, this is their 3rd collaboration together. It's about a girl who, she and her dad are moving across country, and they're going to live with her grandmother, who she doesn't know very well. And she has never really had her mother, so getting to know her grandmother is a little bit like finding out more information about her mom. And of course, she's got to make new friends, and she's got to get into a new school, and all those kinds of things. And great story, loved it. Just like Allergic and Squished, so fun, winging it. Okay, now let's move on to middle grade fiction. Let's start with Tiffany Jackson's Blood in the Water. I think there's going to be a lot of takers for this one. Kids who are really interested in some of those mysterious books about things that might be a little bit scary. Blood in the Water. Speaking of a little bit scary, we've got Erin and Trotta Kelly and Jasmine Warga, and the first 2 books in the Last Resort series. So 2 amazing authors going back to back in this new series, The Last Resort. Rodman Philbrick, always a great storyteller. We Own the Sky. I haven't read this one yet, but it looks great. Excited to get some kids reading this. We're reading Wildfire as a read aloud with one of my 5th grades right now. Okay. For my Wings of Fire lovers out there, and there are many, we have Dragon Slayer. It's like one of those one-off Wings of Fire books. You know, there's a couple, this one and Darkstalker, to go with the series. Book 16 just came out. I've got it in my office right now. It's not quite ready to come out, but it's been purchased. It's ready, it's there. But for now, we have Dragon Slayer. Speaking of dragons, Dragon Masters. What is this one? Vortex of the Chaos Dragon, book 30. 30. Those kids who are loving these Dragon Masters books, they're going to be super excited to get their hands on this one. Book 30 in the Dragon Masters series. Christina Soontornvat's Legends of the Lotus Island, book 1, book 2, and book 3. Such a cool series about a group of kids who are shapeshifters out to take care of our planet, defend our world. Such a neat series. And I think a lot of our younger readers, you know, middle readers, are going to be excited to get into these. Dork Diaries, always popular, always going off the shelf. But this one, just like Bad Guys in color, now we've got Dork Diaries in color. So cool, so heavy. But I think the kids are going to love getting this Dork Diaries series going in color as well. And then look at this beautiful book. It's the storybook of Moana. Look at the colors just inside the cover. So beautiful. For our kids who love Moana and love Disney, they're going to just have so much fun with this Moana. Jennifer L. Holmes' newest book, Outside. Wouldn't it be weird if you lived your whole life in one house with like 5 other kids, and you believed that outside World War III had happened and the whole world had been poisoned and you had never been outside the walls, and then you went outside the walls and everything changed and you found out something you never believed it could happen and could exist outside. So interesting. Such a really fascinating story. Gordon Corman's The Fort. Kids who love playing in the woods and finding stuff in the woods. And what would happen if you discovered like an old World War II bunker underground and made it your clubhouse? And all the things that go with that, and hiding things from adults and having your own fun and just doing kid stuff in the forest and in the woods. The Fort by Gordon Corman. We always love Gordon Corman. Brian Selznick. Look how thin this is for a Brian Selznick. You know, we're used to like these, right? Last one we were looking at was Big Tree, but this is Brian Selznick's Kaleidoscope. I haven't read it yet. I'm pretty excited. It still has that same style of artwork. A little bit more readable maybe for some of our kids who are not quite ready for the Hugo Cabrés and the Wonderstrucks. Kaleidoscope. Jennifer Nielsen, 2 books, Free State of Jax and Lines of Courage. We got a lot of kids reading Jennifer Nielsen books now. Very exciting historical fiction generally, but these 2 are going to be hot commodities, I think. And we have one more pile to go. Just Keep Walking. I've wanted to get into this one. I'm really excited to read this. Aaron Soderbergh Downing. Looks fun. Can't wait. Hummingbird, about a girl who is in a wheelchair and she's going to school, and sort of some of the adventures that go along with being in a wheelchair and being in a public school, and how those things work together or don't work together sometimes, and her wanting to be in the theater and wanting to be part of something, and maybe people not giving people enough credit for who they are. A lot of people making judgments based on what we see physically and not what we find out about who people really are. So Hummingbird, such a beautiful story. To Catch a Thief by Martin Brockenbrough. I haven't read this one yet. This was a Sakura nominated book last year, and I didn't get around to reading it, so I'm excited that we have this coming out to the library today. To Catch a Thief. 2 more, Bruce Hale, you know, the author of Clark the Shark. We have Switched, which is like a very sort of Freaky Friday kind of book where a guy switches places with a dog, and see what happens in Switched. Bruce's book's always a great time. And the last one, Kelly Yang's book 6 in the Front Desk series, Chef's Secret, from Kelly Yang. All right, always excited to see kids getting into this series, grabbing Front Desk, grabbing the books that come after 3 Keys, and all of these books that are happening. And here we are already with book 6, Chef's Secret. So there we go, friends. Tons of books coming out Monday. It's a big, beautiful week for a great week for reading and for sharing books and talking about books, and book bingo and book fair coming and all these books. So find one, pick it up, read it. Have a great day. Happy reading, friends. Bye.